There was a lively town on the river where a happy baker named Lila lived. She was famous for her bread and her always smiling face. Lila's bakery was small, but it was always filled with the warm aroma of freshly baked goods. Though she didn't earn much, Lila was content with her simple life. She believed that happiness came from sharing and spreading joy. One day, as Lila was preparing her dough, she ran out of flour. She decided to visit the miller, who was an old friend of hers, named John, living at the edge of town. He welcomed her and gave her a special sack of flour. "This flour is magical," he said with a wink. "It will bring you more than just bread." Curious, Lila took home the flour and started baking. To her astonishment, she was slicing the most delicious bread she ever had. Word started circulating round, and soon people from all walks of town visited her bakery. Lila's business thrived, and more money went into her pocket than ever. Lila bought new furniture, fancy clothes, and an oven big enough for the betterment of her bakery. She fancied herself becoming the most sought-after baker in the region. However, one morning, when opening the flour sack, Lila found it empty. She ran back to John, only to find his mill closed. A note on the door read, "Gone on a journey. Be back soon." Lila began to worry. Since this flour was magical, her breads had been different from other ordinary breads. Her customers started turning away. Her savings started dropping dramatically, since she had to sell off all her new things that kept her bakery running. Soon, the simple life came back for her. She felt desperate at first. She missed the excitement and wealth she had briefly enjoyed. But as she sat in her small bakery, she noticed something. The few customers who still came by did so not for the bread, but for her. They loved her warmth, her stories, and her kindness. Lila realized that her true happiness had never come from the magical flour or the money. It came from the joy she brought to others. One day, John returned. He went to Lila and asked, "Did the flour bring you what you wanted?" Lila smiled and said, "It taught me that happiness is not in wealth or magic. It is in the love we share and the joy we create." John nodded, pleased. Then the flour did its job. From that day onwards, Lila continued to bake with ordinary flour, but her heart was filled with extraordinary happiness. She remained cheerful in every situation, knowing that true wealth was in the smiles of her customers and the warmth of her community.